Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I would like to show you a concept on hard-coded dashboards that basically make the deployment of large-scale industrial IoT projects easier than ever before. This workspace is simulated virtual workspace on industrial climate monitoring, but it has 93 LoRaWAN-based climate monitors. They monitor temperature, humidity, they give you the dew point and the mold index and some couple of alertings. You would usually now go ahead to create a workspace dashboard, and we all know that these can be a little bit of a pain if you want to create dashboards for all of these devices. But that's the status quo, and we are going to change this. Now, instead of creating a new manual dashboard, we click on Add Dashboard. And you can see here in my preview, this is not available on production, but you can see a preview in here that there's a dashboard type. First of all, I call this Climate Report Dashboard. And then instead of having the manual dashboard, which is the usual way, we select a type. And right now, for demonstration, the only type is Climate Monitoring Dashboard. Now, everything else stays as it is. We click on Add Dashboard, and this brings you into the new created dashboard. This looks different already from how it was looking on manual dashboards. There's no way you can create widgets, but instead, the first thing that we need to do is add devices. We do this by clicking on Select Devices, and then it brings up this settings modal. You need to click again on Devices and then Assign Devices. Now you can assign devices. You can see we can filter them by tag. You can manually assign single devices or even search for devices. Now, what I want to do is I want to basically add as many devices as possible. Of course, this is a preview, so what it's missing is basically a button to more or less select all devices at the same time. We now assigned 60 devices. Let's go into the calculations. We have the option to define a minimum maximum range. So let's say this is a warehouse and we want to make sure that everything is above 18 degrees, but below 25 degrees Celsius. The rest is fine. We can leave it like it is. And then we can click on Save Settings. And this then actually generates the dashboard. Datacake cycles through all of the data and basically fetches all the available data from the backend. And then it basically creates this report type style dashboard for you. So we have a global climate score based on the settings and ranges that you defined. This means that it is at 90 of 100 is maximum. So the global score is 90. We have a separate score for the time in range. The time in range basically means how long a sensor is within the range that we actually just defined on the settings. You can also see which kind of areas are the worst and the best. You can see how many are critical and poor and how many are excellent. Let's scroll down a little bit. We also see dew point, mold risk, and a 24-hour climate score trend. And in here we see the score distribution, and then also that our production area, and by the way, these areas are derived from the folders, that the production area is the one with the worst climate or overall score. You can see some recommendations. You can see some current climate statuses, the range it is moving in, and also the humidity range, again, distribution, and the climate summary. But then what you also want to see is a more detailed compliance report. And you can see this in the compliance tab, and then also have the option to print this directly using a basic HTML report style, or you can export it later on to Excel or CSV files. And then we also have events which are derived from what is happening inside of your monitored location. So here you can see the breach started and the breach ended, and we can see the climate monitor CS1 and then basically filter for it. So 22.5 hours ago, the breach started and it ended 22.5 minutes later, 22 hours, 55 minutes later, sorry. And you can export this as well into a PDF report, for example. And then last but not least, you have a complete device list about that. So this is our approach on making working with big deployments more easy. You can create these hard-coded reports in your workspace, and in the future, there will be more hard-coded reports for different kinds of use cases. This one now is climate report, but we know because this is a very popular application on Datacake, this will be one of the first reports that or manual hard-coded dashboards that we are going to create. Let us know what you think. If you have some feedback, advices, or some great ideas that you think can make this even better, just reach out to us, let us know. Thanks for watching and stay tuned.